Hello everyone. You're welcome to my channel. I am Vivian, and today we'll be making this off-shoulder ruffle dress. Okay, so I promise you that by the time I'm done making this, it will even be better. It will even come out better. So just wait until you see this on me. So to see the final outcome of this dress, make sure you watch to the very end. I have some tips for you on how you can make this dress to fit different sizes of people. Okay, so if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, do well to hit on that subscribe button below and also turn on the notification bell beside it so that you will not miss out on any of my videos. I upload videos on this channel every week. So now let's get into the lesson of the day. I had 3 yards of my fabric, and from that 3 yards I have cut out what I will be needing for the dress, except for the sleeve. Okay, so the sleeve will be cut out separately, and this is the measurement I cut out. The hip circumference times 2, okay, because it's a free dress. Okay, so you can use times 3 depending on how full you want it to be, but I'm okay with times 2. So the hip measurement is 40, so times 2, that is 80. So that is what I have cut out here. Okay, 80. So it is all round like this. It is 80 inches. So I folded it into 2. Like you can see, I folded it into 2, and I would fold it again into 4 because I want to cut out the back. Okay, so I have some chalk marks on my fabric because I used it for something else before, so I had marks on it. So I folded my fabric into 4, like you can see. Okay, so because I want to cut the back and the front together. So like I said, is the hip circumference times 2. So now that I have folded it, I then cut out the length I want, and it is an off shoulder dress. Okay, so I have minus the shoulder. And how did I do that? So I've always taught this in my channel, how to make off shoulder dress. So depending on how deep you want it to be or how high you want it to be, that is the neckline, you minus the depth. So I'm using 5 inches for my depth. That is, if I'm to make it with shoulder, where the depth would get to is 5 inches. Okay, so 5 inches from my shoulder, that is where my neckline will get to. So that 5 inches is what I'm taking off as my off shoulder. So you can make 6 depending on what you want. Okay, so just from your shoulder to the depth where you want it to be. So that is why I'm placing my tape from that 5. So it's from that 5 I marked out the length of my dress. So I'm using 44. The length of my dress is 44. So I added extra 1.5 inch for hemming because I'll be hemming the lower part and this top part also. So I added my hemming allowance. So having done this now, what I will do from this up, I'll measure 6 inches down. Okay, so the idea is this. You can, that is, it could be your, you can use your bust measurement. So still placing your tape at that 5, you mark your bust points. Okay, so but what I'm using is 6 inches. The reason is this: I want to join my sleeve. I want, by the time I create my armhole, the length should be up to 6 inches. So just watch what I'm doing. So from the top here, I'll just mark 6 inches. So I will explain this to you. So I want to draw a line. So that is why I'm marking the 6 inches all through. So I would draw a line. So I have my line here now. Okay, so this is how it's going to be. Looking at the dress, you will see that you have the ruffles at the top, then it will have gathers, okay, at the upper bust, and with that gathers will be making it with elastic. Okay, so now I have marked 6 inches from the top. So the next thing to do now is to place my neckline. Okay, so to place my neckline, what I'll do at this line now, this line I marked here, I will just mark out my bust circumference. So remember I said I use my hip circumference times 2. Okay, hip circumference times 2, that is what I use in getting the whole fabric I folded. So here too, I'll be marking my bust circumference. So my bust circumference times 2 is what I'll first of all determine. So bust circumference, the bust circumference is 36 times 2, that is 72. Okay, so because I have my fabric on fold, I'll divide that 72 by 4. I hope this is clear. All the fabric we are using it times by 2. So the reason we multiplied by 2 because we'll be having ruffles, so we want it to have sort of gathers. So by the time we gather it, will get the actual measurement. So the bust times 2, that is what we're using now. But because we folded our fabric, because I folded the fabric by 4, I'll divide that 72 by 4. Okay, so by the time I divide by 4, what I have is 18 inches. So I'll mark 18 inches at this point. So that is my bust measurement. Okay, so in ordinary terms, when we are making ordinary clothes, what it will be is bust circumference divided by 4. That is what I have marked here. Okay, so that is my bust circumference times 2 divided by 4, because I'll be making gathers. That is what I marked here. Okay, so having done this, now at this top I will come in by 4 inches. Okay, so ordinarily for making our off shoulder dress, we would have measured our neckline. Okay, by the time you measure your neckline, you connect it here to form your armhole. But because you are making gathers, so I'll just come in here by 4 inches to create my armhole. So I'll just mark 4 inches, okay, from this point. Now I'll connect it to this point. So what I just want it to get to have up to 6 inches here. So I want to have up to 6 inches as my armhole. Okay, so I'll just mark it. So this is it. So I'll just mark it. So you can make a curve, just a slight curve here. That is the armhole. Okay, so you just follow it step by step, like so. Just follow it step by step. So this is my armhole. I hope you can see this. So I'm marking the chalk very well so that you can see. So this is my armhole. Now remember, it is a free dress. So here we'll just come down. Okay, so I'll just mark it down from here. This is my bust point where I marked. So I'll add, let me add 1 inch for seam allowance because I'll be sewing it. Okay, so from that 1 inch seam allowance, I'll just mark it down to the edge here. Okay, so just want it to be free and also have that, circle look down. So this is it. So I hope you can see this, the armhole, then straight down. Okay, so this is the bust points. Now we'll be making, I'm just explaining to you. Looking at that dress, you see that the ruffle, okay, we have ruffle up and there's elastic in between. That the elastic is at the upper bust. Okay, that's at the upper bust. So this is the bust line. So the elastic will be somewhere here. Then the ruffle will be at the top, like so. So first of all, I'll just cut out what I have here so that you will see it. Okay, so I'll just cut it out. So I have it here. You can see what I have here. Okay, So now I would also cut the sleeve. So for my sleeve, okay, what I'll do is just measure what I have here. So I'll just measure what I have here. So I have 7.5 inches. So I would cut my fabric. Then for the width, remember it's a ruffle dress. Even the sleeve has ruffles, okay? So for the sleeve, ordinarily what I will use for my sleeve roundness is what I took off from the shoulder, which is 5 inches. So what I should have here is 5 inches times 2. But because I want the ruffle to be full, I'll be using 5 inches times 3. Okay, I hope you understand. 5 inches. So you know that is unfold is 5 inches. Mean by the time you open it is 10. So what I mean, I'll use 10 by 3. 10 inches times 3, which is 30. Okay, so that is what I'll be using. Okay, so just take it that way. My sleeve width will be 30 inches because I want to have the ruffle very full. So what I'll do is this. I would measure 30 by 7.5, but I'll make it 8 because I will hem the down part of the sleeve. Okay, you understand? When I make it, I'll hem the down part of the sleeve, then the upper part of the sleeve will be hemmed together with the dress. So what I'll do, I'll make it 8 inches. Okay, the sleeve will be 8 inches by 30. So I'll just measure. So what I'll measure 30 inches, then by 8. Okay, so that is what I would cut out. So I have cut it out. Okay, this is my sleeve. Okay, so I have it here. I just want to mark my fabric, okay, to know the wrong side. So I have it there. So this is it. So this is what I have here. 8 inches by 30 inches, and this is how it's going to be. So let me show you. So it will be joined this way, like so. Okay, so I'll join it like so, and you know I said I'll hem this lower part. I'll hem this part while this side will be hemmed together with the top. Okay, so I can decide to use bias. I can decide to just hem it that way, that is pipe it with bias to give it extra beauty. So it will just come this way. So by the time I have gotten it this way, I hope you can see this is very wide. Okay, so you can see this is the sleeve like so, and this is the neck area. So now by the time I join it, I would hem this part. Then I'll fix my elastic in between the neckline and the bust point, or depending on how depending on the length of ruffle I want. That is how I'll place my elastic, and it will go across to the arm, to the sleeve all round. Okay, so now what I'll do is just to join it, and you'll see it. So I'll go ahead and hem the lower part of the sleeve, then I would join it to the bodice. Okay, I will join it, and you'll see. So I've opened it up, and this is how it will be. It is very full. It is very full, but by the time I've made the ruffle, everything will come together, and okay, it will be beautiful. So you see, to just come this way, and it will be beautiful. So I'll go ahead and join it, and you see what I have there. So I have sewn it. Okay, so this is it, looking very, very big, but not to worry. By the time I gather it, you'll see the beauty will come out. So this is it. It's very big. So what I will do now is to turn it to the other side, that is to the wrong side. Then I would create my elastic pipe. That is where I'll pass my elastic from or through. Okay, so this is it on the wrong side. So you can see I sew the sleeve to the armhole. Okay, you can see I just make sure I matched it up to the armhole. Then I closed up the sides. You can see. So I joined the sleeve, I closed up the side, and I hemmed the lower part. So I've done all that. So I've turned it to the wrong side, okay, so you can see it. So you'll be wondering what kind of big cloth is this. Yes, this is my choice. So you can actually make your own smaller than this if you want. Like for the sleeve, you know, I took 3 times my sleeve roundness. That is 3 times the round sleeve. That is what I took here. So you can decide to take like 2 times your round sleeve and you have it smaller, okay. But I want the gathers to be full. That is, I want to have a nice ruffle. That is why I took 3 times, and you can see it here. Then this is the neckline. See how wide the neckline is, because we'll be making the gathers or the ruffle. So that is it for that. So I also prepared the pipe where the elastic will pass through, okay. So this, it doesn't have to be exactly the same fabric. You can use anything to do this. So I'm using the 1-inch elastic. So I made sure the pipe I prepared is up to, okay, 1¼ inch, so that the elastic can easily pass through it. So I just folded, I cut out the fabric and just folded it so that I can have a neat edge here. So you can actually use a smaller elastic if you want, but I believe this bigger one will hold it better. So in case you don't want to make this kind of piping and you're using a smaller elastic, you can actually use bias tape, okay. You can use bias tape. What you do is just to open it up like so. You just open it up and you sew it down. You just sew the edges so that your elastic can pass through it, okay, so that your elastic can pass through it. But I have prepared pipe. So what I'll do now is just mark out the length of my ruffle, the top ruffle, how I want it to be. So I'll mark out the length, okay. So I will use my sleeve as a guide. I want it to pass just at the center of the sleeve, okay, just at the center of the sleeve. So the length of my sleeve now is 7 inches. Remember, I took 8, so I folded it. That is, I hemmed it. It's now, I have 7 inches left. So let me also check this one. So this is it, 7 inches left. So the midpoint of my sleeve will be 3.5 inches. Okay, the midpoint will be 3.5 inches, and that is, I want the elastic to pass through the midpoint. So by the time I draw it, I'll have my ruffle, okay, I'll have the sleeve having ruffle at the top and at the bottom. So that is just what I want. So since it will be passing through the midpoint, this is what I will do. I'll have to set this piping, okay, just set it at the midpoint like so. Then I'll stitch the 2 edges. I'll stitch the 2 edges. So to do that, what I'll do is just to mark. I'll mark my fabric all round. So you'll be wondering the length of this piping. The length is, just measure the length of your round dress. That is the length of the sleeve and the neckline all round, okay. So that is how that is the length of this piping. So what I did was just to measure what I have here, okay. So I just measured what I have here like so, then times it by 2, because you know you have to go round, it has to go round. So times it by 2, that is the length of this pipe you're seeing here. So you can see it is very long, okay. So if your fabric is not long enough to give you this, you can join, like I joined this one. I joined it to get this length, okay. So this is it. Like I said, it doesn't have to be the same fabric. You can cut out any fabric of your choice to do this, since it will be inside the dress, that it will be at the wrong side of the dress. So that is it. So now for my ruffle, like I said, I want it to pass through the midpoint of the sleeve. So what I have there is 3.5. So what it means that I'll measure 3.5 all round. So let me just start from this side. Mark 3.5. That is where it will start. So the piping will be in between 3.5. That is just what I'm doing, you would understand. Okay, so I'll just mark it. I'll just mark it all round. So let me just mark, then I'll use my ruler to connect all the lines. So I also come to the neckline. I also mark 3.5 from the neckline. So now I'll just connect the points, then I'll turn to the other side and do the same thing. So I'm just making this mark to help me, okay? So I have my mark. Okay, this is it. Okay, so I'll turn to the other side and do the same thing. So after making my marks, okay, I would ignore this mark. It's just a mark that was on the fabric. So this is the main mark here. So what I'll do is to fix my piping. So I can just start from anywhere. Okay, I can just start from anywhere. So I'll fold it in because I want to get rid of the rough edge. So I'll just, eyeball it, the midpoint of this pipe. That is what I'll fix at the center of the mark I made. So you can actually hold this down with pin. You can actually pin it down at that midpoint. Okay, so or you can even mark, if you measure what you have here, okay, you measure it, then you can just mark again. But I don't want to do that because it will take time. So what I'll do is just to eyeball it and pin it down, so that when I go to stitch, I'll just stitch the top and also stitch the bottom, and I'll have it there. So I just started somewhere along around the midpoint of my neckline. So make sure you're pinning on just one side. So that you don't make mistake when sewing it. So you don't just sew it together to the other side, okay? So this is just what I'll do. I would take it round. Just fix it all round. And when I come here, I'll just stop like 1/4 of an inch to before the other one, so that I'll have space to pass through my elastic. So just watch and see. So what I'll do, just fold it, and this is the midpoint. I'll make sure the midpoint is on that mark, then I'll just pin it down there. Okay. So here it is. Okay, so you can see I started from this point, went round, and I came here. So I just left about quarter of an inch or even half inch, so that by the time I'm done stitching, I would be able to pass my elastic through. Okay, so you can see it. I just took it all round, all round. See what I have all round. Okay, so this is actually very easy, and holding it with your pin is just the best thing you can do, because it will make it easy for you to just sew. Okay, it will make it easy for you. So I'll go ahead now and stitch the top and down. So as I stitch, I'll make sure I'm stitching, okay, so that my elastic can pass through. So you can see what I have here. So I'll just stitch at the edge of my piping. So though I have folded it and I have my line set, the thread for the folding showing, so I won't make the mistake of following that thread. No, I'll make sure I just stitch at the edge. Okay, at the edge, so that I'll just stitch at the edge so that my elastic can pass through inside. So I'll go ahead and do just that, then I'll show you how to fix in your elastic. Okay, so this is beautiful, and you can even have it at the good side of your dress. You can even have it at the good side of your dress as design. It's really looking beautiful, but I'm using it as my piping inside my dress. So I did also remember to tell you, I also hemmed the top all round. Okay, that is after joining the sleeve. I just hemmed everything all round. So now let me go ahead and stitch the piping down. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and stitch it. So when you see it, so I have sewn it, so you can see what I have here. Okay, so this is really beautiful, so you can see. So this is the space where my elastic will pass through. You can see this. Okay, so what I'll do now is to measure the length of elastic I need, and the length of elastic I need is my round shoulder. Okay, so in case you don't know what I mean by my round shoulder, I have just made a little ugly diagram. Don't laugh at my diagram. So this is your round shoulder, okay, where the off shoulder dress would lie on. That is your shoulder. So you have to measure it all round from front to the back. Okay, you measure it. So that is my round shoulder. So my round shoulder here is 40 inches. So I'll cut just that from my elastic. Okay, so I'll cut out 40 inches because that is what will go round the shoulder. So I'm not adding extra because this is elastic. So even after joining the elastic, it will still be okay. So that 40 is just okay. So I'll measure 40 inches and cut it out. So I have it here. Okay, so this is the length of elastic I'll be using. That is my round shoulder. So I'll use a safety pin to pass it through. Okay, so I'll just use a safety pin to pass it through. So you can start whichever side you like. And as I do this, in order not for the whole of the elastic to get into the piping, I will just use my pin to hold this edge outside. So just carefully pass it through like so. Okay, so you can see the way I'm putting it, just taking it in carefully like so. So I'll just keep putting it until I come out from this other side. So like I said, this other edge, I'll just hold it down here with the pin so that it doesn't move in. So I'll have to pin it down very well here. So by the time I'm coming out from this side, I'll remove it and just continue. So that is it. So by the time I've gotten to this side, what I'll do just to remove my elastic, and I'll pin it this side now. So I'll just pin it this side because I don't want it to go in. So I'll just keep coming until I am out from here. So this is it. So now I'll just adjust my ruffle. Okay, I'll adjust the ruffle the way I want it to be. So but before then, I would just sew the two edges of my elastic so that I don't have it going back inside. So after sewing the two edges, I will then adjust my ruffle the way I want it to be. Okay, so I want more on the sleeve like so. So I'll just arrange it. So let me stitch. I'll stitch the two edges. So the easiest way to do it, or the best way to do it, is just by placing one on the other like so. Okay, then I would make stitches on it so that it will be firm. So I'll just stitch on it so that it will be firm. So I'll just hold it down with my pin for now. Then I'll go ahead and I'll just hold it down with pin. Then I'll go ahead and stitch it. Okay. So you see it. So I'll just stitch it. Then I would arrange my ruffle the way I want it to be. So you can see it's already beautiful. It has come together already. So let me just stitch the elastic, then I would arrange it and you see what we have. So I have it stitched. Now I can allow it to go in. Then I'll start arranging my ruffle the way I want it to be. Okay, so I'll just distribute it all round. So I'll just distribute it, but I want more on the sleeve. I want to have more on my sleeve. So I'll just push some towards that side. Okay, so I'll also come to this side and distribute the ruffles. Just distribute it so that every part of the neckline can have the ruffle. Then I would have more on my sleeve. Okay, so by the time as I'm distributing it, when I get, if I've distributed evenly this side, I'll just push some ruffle to the sleeve. Okay, and that is the same thing I'm doing on this side. Start distributing some to this side. Then on my sleeve, I'll make sure I have more. Okay, and I have it here. Wow, this is lovely. This is beautiful. Okay, so like I said, you can actually use this to make a design. Okay, but it's at the wrong side. So I'll turn to the right side and we'll see what we have. So you can see what we have here. Okay, you can see the sleeves area. You can see. Okay, so you can just distribute the ruffle just the way you want, how you want it to be. Okay, if you want more on your sleeve, what you need to do is just to push more of the ruffle to the sleeve side, and you can see this. I hope you love this video, and I believe this is beautiful. Please give this video a huge like. Just hit on that like icon. Okay, and if you are not yet subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Just hit on that subscribe button below this video. Okay, you see the subscribe button, just hit on it, and beside it is a bell. hit on that bell and click on all so that you'll be notified of all my videos whenever I upload a new videos. I have a lot coming up on this channel for you, and I believe you will not want to miss out. So hit on the subscribe button. That is if you are not yet subscribed to this channel, and turn on the notification bell, okay, so that you get notified of all my videos. You know, one good thing about this style is you can adjust the neckline to fit whatever and shoulder, okay. Like this one is for shoulder of 40 inches. That is, my round shoulder is 40 inches. If I want someone with a smaller shoulder to wear it, what I'll do is just to come in, okay, here that I have my opening, I'll just pull out the elastic and reduce it so you can see. So the more I pull it, you will have it becoming smaller, okay. So it's a style that a lot of people can wear. Then if I want a bigger person to wear, what I need to do is just remove this elastic, measure the person's round shoulder and fix it. And you can see the lower part is wide enough to accommodate or to take whatever hip measurement or hip size and tummy you can see. So this style is just like a multi-size okay, so a lot of people can wear it no matter the size. So that is just it. That is one good thing about this style. So please hit that like button, just smash on that like button, okay, to encourage me to do more videos for you, okay? So thank you. And for the length, it's a matter of choice. How long or short you want it to be is a matter of your choice. You can make it a maxi gown, you can make it a short gown. So okay, that is just it about this gown. It's just a multi style, or how do I put it, and you can wear it with belt if you like. So like someone like me, I like wearing big clothes like this with belt, so I'll be making belt for it, so that by the time I tie my belt on the waist I'll have it like this, okay, looking like a flake gown. So that is just it. So the style is just is beautiful. So thank you and see you in my next video. Bye.